Hey, Adrian, this thermal imaging camera is working fantastically, even on less than half a charge. Can't you see I'm busy? I can't get a hold of anyone here at the front desk or outside of town. I'm telling you, that loud noise we heard earlier was an explosion, and it must have had something to do with this blackout. If that's the case, shouldn't the electricity have gone out right when it happened instead of, several minutes after we heard it? I don't know. Darn, still nothing. I was in the middle of talking to Mom, too. You know, this could be the perfect time to go to the merchant house and start hunting ghosts. What? Now? Think about it. Everybody will be too busy to notice us heading towards the property. If there's any security there, they might be busy with the blackout as well. But what if there's an emergency call we need to make? Adrian? There's a cold spot moving among the trees. What's so unusual about that? It could just be a nice breeze. There's something strange about this. Adrian? What is it, Pat? It's looking at us. What? Give me that. Hey! Stand aside. Let me see what you're freaking out about. Pat, we need to go.
I drove as fast as I could to Unity to track Trajan down. By the time I reached town, it was virtually bathed in darkness from the blackout, save for the sporadic fires and lights with backup power sources. The chaos caused by the undead resulted in me crashing my car near a hotel. I ran inside for safety and sought somewhere that I could maybe hide in and temporarily secure myself. I found the door to one of the hotel rooms unlocked, so I chose to hide there. While hiding, I found a thermal imaging camera and planned on using it to see my way through town and escape. I honestly didn't know how far they had spread, but I held out hope on the gamble that it was just this town affected. After I made my way into the store, the camera started dying on me. I soon came across a rack of disposable cameras. I figured their flashes could help me gain my bearings as I'd make my way through the darkness. I tried out the first one I ripped out of its box. It worked quite well. I took a few just in case something happened to one. I could just use another as a backup. Found a safe way out of the store and into the back alley. The exit to the streets was blocked by a sanitation van, but I saw nearby a manhole cover removed from its utility shaft, probably by some workers before everything occurred. Tweaking my escape plan a little, I made the decision to take the underground tunnels out of Unity. Before leaving, I tried opening the back of the vehicle to search for something that could help me, like a flashlight or a map of the sewer system, but it was locked. It was at that time I heard something somewhere behind me. I used one of the cameras to light up the area. It didn't appear there was anyone lurking about, so I chalked it up to imagination brought on by my fears and then climbed down the hole. I tried to use the cameras more sparingly when it became apparent that I was lost. One camera didn't work due to a faulty button, and I dropped another into the water. I pressed on through those sewer tunnels, using each photo flash to find my way. I also did it to check my tail, too. I kept getting this feeling of some presence hounding me. I was at my last camera when that presence hit me once again, but this time it was the strongest it ever was. I decided to use the flash to check behind me one last time. Once I saw them, I ran as fast as I could in the darkness. Using the cameras to see where I was going didn't come to my mind. No matter how hard I ran, I felt my pursuers nipping at my heels, so I didn't dare to stop and think or use the camera again. I was lucky I didn't slam myself into a wall or anything running in the pitch dark like I did. Rather, one moment, the damp tunnel flooring was beneath my feet, and then the next, I was flying through the night wind until my face hit the shallow stream of drainage runoff. Soon after I gathered my senses, I quickly flashed my camera towards the pipe I came out. They just stood at the edge of the drainage pipe staring at me. I expected them to get me, but they just stared at me with their eyes glowing from the camera flash. I used the camera again. There were less of them. I did it again, and again, and again, each time with fewer eyes present. All eyes except for one. One eye just staring there despite how many times I used that camera. Then out of stupidity or out of some obligation to prove to myself that this defiant one didn't scare me, I stepped closer and snapped a shot. Dread was starting to overcome me, yet I got even closer and snapped another shot. Thinking about it now, I don't think the dread was from the possibility of me getting within striking range. It was more the creeping realization that the eye wanted me to discover something. Something I didn't want to believe, but what I really needed to know. I got as close as I felt was still at a safe distance, and took one last shot. To this day, I still come by the outer edges to check in on Trajan. Outside of myself doing this in secret, only those with the proper clearance are ever allowed near this place. Unity's been placed under indefinite quarantine as a Superfund site, designated as a no-fly zone and removed from all public maps. The official report says it was a chemical leak from an industrial accident. Many on the internet say otherwise. Don't know of any other poor SOB who survived that night, but I can tell you from my own experience that there is no chemical leak, or terrorism, or alien invasion. The Merchant House was where all the worst things happen in town, so you can fairly call the mansion a gateway to hell. But it was only the most obvious symptom of a deeper cancer, which used weakness and malevolence as tools to sate the land's thirst for blood. Whether it was when the settlers spilled innocent indigenous blood, or from the very moment they trespassed, the foundation of unity was forever tainted. Built upon greed, ignorance, selfishness, arrogance, callousness, and cruelty. Unity was that rotten place doomed to fall as a town and destined to become the perfect cornerstone